Hey guys, welcome back to the Planeswalker Coach channel. I'm your host, Paladin and Robin. Folks, I'm super excited right now. This is, of course, the middle of our spoiler season. We've been talking about spoilers for a while now, showing you some of the really cool things that are coming out with Duskmourn. If you guys haven't already, what I'd suggest doing is going and looking at the forums. The forums got some good cards for you from this new amazing set, Duskmourn. And also, I would say take a look at the pages that we have for some of the content creators. You guys know the names, right? Balthazar, Gozmaster, Main Loop. Folks like that are going to have some spoilers on their pages too. So go and take a look. There's so many cool things coming out. Guys, super excited. Let me get to the card that I want to show today. All right. As we know, this is from Duskmourn, the newest set coming up. And without further ado, here is the next card I want to show for you folks today. Phenomenon Investigators. This is a really cool one. This one you can make as the centerpiece of so many decks, and I'm going to do that as soon as I get this one here. All right, so let's take a look. For 11, you get a creature that's a human detective. It's a 3/4. Nothing crazy right there, nothing huge. But when you take a look at the abilities that you see on this card, you'll see why this is such an excellent addition to your decks. All right, it says here, when this creature enters the battlefield, choose one. Option A, create a poltergeist token, then reinforce it X times. X is the number of black and blue gems on the board divided by 3 rounded down. All right, if you don't like that one, you can choose option B. Option B is draw a card. It gains full mana. All right, so very cool stuff. You got some flexibility with this card. Like you see on the screen, you play this card or it comes out of the graveyard or somehow it ends up on the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, you got 2 choices. You can pick option A or option B. Now, I'll kind of go through both of them, and then you can kind of see which one I'm kind of leaning to. In fact, I'll tell you right out which one I'm leaning on and kind of using the decks that are coming. Here is option A, right? Obviously, you get to have a poltergeist token. Here is the token. It's a spirit horror, as you can see. When this creature enters the battlefield, this creature gains prevent damage until the beginning of your next turn. And then, of course, you're going to reinforce this one a bunch of times. I kind of like this idea. Obviously, what you're going to want to do is play this one. It's going to hopefully reinforce a bunch of times. And then you're going to be able to put a card, something that gives reach or vigilance, right? Because you're going to want this in a block. And when it blocks, it's not going to take any damage because it has prevent damage, and your opponent's creatures are going to get hurt, right? Obviously, because this is a big token. It's not a huge token, but 3 for power is pretty good, right? You see a lot of 2s and 1s, but here you are with a 3 power token, so that's cool. This is going to get pretty hefty. It's going to be able to block. It's going to have that prevent damage, and this is kind of a nice one. I do like this one a lot. I would use this one in decks that will obviously focus on tokens. I try to reinforce this one a bunch, obviously because that 3 is a good size. And you know what? If you can get that going, you're going to have a pretty good advantage on your opponent, especially when it comes to playing defense. All right, so very cool there. Now, I think the strength of this card is option B, however, right? Option A is nice, but I think option B is really good. You can make entire decks around option B, kind of similar to option A, but I think there's going to be more flexibility with option B. There's going to be more avenues, and it's going to just be able to help you in different decks. All right, so let's show you option B and how I would use option B. Okay, option B obviously is draw a card and it gains full mana. What I would try to do here is play this card as many times as you can in a turn or throughout the course of the game, and just go option B, option B, option B. And what's going to do, obviously, is going to draw a card every single time, and then it's going to give you full mana for that card. In order to do that, what I would do is include the 3 cards that you're going to see coming up. All right, I would put Eternal Wanderer in the deck that is with this one here, right? The Phenomenon Investigators. You can see for +1 shield, you have a nice ability. Exile target creature, and if that card is a non-token creature, return the last creature from its controller's exile to the battlefield under their control. All right, so what I would do, obviously, is go Phenomenon Investigators, go option B. You're going to draw a card. It's going to get full mana. And then probably on the next turn, you're going to have to wait a turn, right? On the next turn, if you have Eternal Wanderer already down, you're going to be able to hit that first ability. You can see it here. I would exile Phenomenon Investigators, and then it's going to come back out, right? You can read it for yourself. Return the last creature from its controller's exile to the battlefield under their control. So it will be this one here. And when it comes out, that's going to count as enter the battlefield, right? And because it enters the battlefield, I would go option B again for another free card, right? Draw a card, it gets full mana. I would do that. In fact, Eternal Wanderer, you can do that every single turn, right? It'll send the Phenomenon Investigators into the exile, then it'll bring it right back. And then you can go option B. It's going to draw a card. It's free, right? Very cool. What I would also do is include this one, Abuelo. Abuelo is a nice one because it kind of does the same thing, right? When this creature attacks, you may exile another target creature you control. If you do, return the first creature card from your exile into play under your control again. So I would have the Phenomenon Investigators also with the Eternal Wanderer down, and then Abuelo down too, right? Because when Abuelo attacks, it's going to ask you, do you want to send a creature to the exile? I go, yes. Phenomenon Investigators, go to my exile, and then what Abuelo is going to do is bring it right back, right? So when it comes back into play, it's going to activate that enter the battlefield ability from Phenomenon Investigators again. Then what I would do is hit that B option, draw the card, get the free card, right? Very cool. In fact, what I would do is at the beginning of the turn, hit the Eternal Wanderer, just like I said, exile Phenomenon Investigators. It's going to come back in, say, yes, I want B, give me my free card. And then when it's the attack phase of the turn, Abuelo is going to exile the Phenomenon Investigators again, right? And then it's going to bring it back. And then you say, yes, I want option B once more. You're going to get another free card. That's 2 free cards in one turn. Very cool stuff. What I would also do is include this one here. Aminatou. This is a nice one as well. You can see for -2 shields, exile target creature you control, then create a copy of that creature into the battlefield under your control and reinforce that creature. And you guys know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the Phenomenon Investigators for this, obviously, right? I would probably exile the Phenomenon Investigators. When it comes back in, I'm going to choose option B, get a free card, right? Very cool. In fact, what I would do is if I have all 4 of these cards all together, what I would obviously do is go Eternal Wanderer, right? That's going to exile Phenomenon Investigators, bring it back, get you 1 free card. Aminatou, same thing. Exile Phenomenon Investigator, bring it back, give you another free card. So that's 2 free cards. And then when it's Abuelo's turn to attack, Abuelo's going to say, hey, do you want me to exile somebody, bring them back? You say, yes. Phenomenon Investigators, that will exit the battlefield via the exile, then come back. That's going to activate it again. I'm going to go option B 1 more time, and boom, that's 3 free cards every single turn. So cool. That's what I would do. This move is called Flicker, right? Because we're turning it off because of the exile, and then we're turning it back on, right? And you have these 3 cards here on the side. All of them are excellent at Flicker, right? They turn off the Investigator via the exile, and they turn them back on because it's entering the battlefield again. There's a lot of cards that will do the Flicker, and I would just put all of them as much as I can, right, into a deck like this. And of course, you're going to want some other creatures in there that are going to be able to attack and stuff like that. But this is an excellent combo where you're going to be able to get tons of free stuff. Anyways, I'm super excited. I think you guys can tell. Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends. Folks, leave in the comments some comments about how you would use this card. Do you guys like this card? Do you guys not like this card? How would you use it? What other creatures would you put in there, right? All of those things. Put it in the comments. Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends, and good gaming, guys.